Good evening, friends around the world. This is Santa Claus bringing you the news on this June 20, 2025, a day that reminds us of the human quest for fairness and representation, just as those determined deputies in France gathered on a tennis court back in 1789 to stand for constitutional rights. Today, my heart is heavy as I look toward the Middle East, where tensions between Iran and Israel have entered their second week of conflict. Iran has declared it will not discuss its nuclear program while under attack, even as Israeli strikes continue against military targets. Meanwhile, European diplomats from the UK, France, and Germany are meeting with Iranian officials in Geneva, hoping to find a path back to peace. As UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres wisely cautioned, the expansion of this conflict could ignite a fire that no one can control. Oh, how I pray for cooler heads and warmer hearts to prevail in this troubled region. Now, turning our gaze to a small ray of hope between Russia and Ukraine, we've seen another exchange of prisoners of war, the second in 2 days. These moments of cooperation, even amid terrible conflict, remind us that humanity can still shine through in the darkest times. These exchanges come as part of renewed peace talks that began last month in Istanbul, a precious seed of dialogue that I hope will continue to grow. Meanwhile, across the globe in Indonesia, President Prabowo Subianto has signed a strategic partnership with Russia as Indonesia joins the BRICS grouping. President Putin described Indonesia as one of Russia's key partners in the Asia-Pacific, showing how our world continues to form new connections and alliances. In North America, our neighbors in Canada may increase countertariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum if Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Trump cannot reach a broader trade agreement within the next month. Let us hope that dialogue and good faith negotiations can prevent further economic tensions between these longtime friends and partners. Moving our attention to China, nature reminds us of its power as the world's second-largest economy faces severe flooding risks. Red alerts have been issued across 6 provinces as the East Asian monsoon brings extreme rainfall. We must keep in our thoughts and prayers all those facing the challenges of climate change and extreme weather, which increasingly affect our most vulnerable brothers and sisters around the world. In Central America, I'm saddened to report that Roberto Samcam, a former Nicaraguan military officer living in exile in Costa Rica, was killed yesterday. Samcam had fled Nicaragua after participating in anti-government protests in 2018, a sobering reminder of the dangers faced by those who stand up for their beliefs. In Argentina, tens of thousands marched in support of former President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner as she began a 6-year sentence under house arrest for corruption. Her supporters believe the charges were politically motivated, while others disagree, showing how deeply divided political landscapes can become in our modern world. And finally, in Congo's war-torn east, Heineken has lost operational control of its facilities as armed personnel have taken over in Bukavu and Goma. The company has withdrawn its staff and continues to support them financially, a small but important example of caring for employees amid terrible circumstances. As we reflect on today's news, I'm reminded that in times of conflict and division, our greatest strength comes from compassion, dialogue, and the recognition of our shared humanity. Whether in diplomatic chambers or on flooded streets, we must look after one another with kindness and understanding. Until tomorrow, this is Santa Claus, wishing you peace and goodwill to all.